Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, two of the finest counter-civilizations in the hands of two of the finest players meet on Arabia, as Mr. Yo, playing as the Incas in red, gets ready to take on Liereyy, playing as the Gurjaras in green. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate piggly-wiggly surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad opportunity for us. Look at this, a little bit of a family reunion here to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today, because I suspect it is going to be an absolute banger. Now, the Incas, as I mentioned, a quintessential counter-civilization. Will your opponent go cavalry? Well, the Incas can rely on their first unique unit, the Kamayuk, a ranged infantry unit that actually carries the longest spear in the game and comes with a massive amount of bonuses against all manner of mounted units, elephants, cavalry, and camels, all of which might be bad news bears for our Gurjara. Now, if you're going to go infantry against the Incas, they can rely on their other unique unit, the Slinger. This is an archer unit that comes with a pretty big attack bonus against infantry, and which can be upgraded to get a small attack boost. Now, to counter archers, the Incas can rely on their skirmishers, which not only come with all archery range, blacksmith, and university upgrades, but can also be further upgraded to get rid of its minimum range, which does reduce one of its weaknesses. Now, to make their army last longer on the field of battle, the Incas can upgrade their Kamayuks, their slingers, and even their eagle warriors to get both extra melee and extra pierce armor, and to help them build their military industrial complex up to the maximum power it can reach. All of their military units cost less and less food as the game goes on, 10% cheaper right now, all the way up to 25% cheaper in Imperial. As you saw in the beginning, they do start the game with a free llama underneath the town center, which not only gives them an extra unit to scout with, but also, of course, 100 extra food. Their buildings cost 15% less stone. Their houses support 10 population instead of the usual 5, which is why you'll see with 2 houses, Mr. Yo has 25 population space compared to the usual 2 houses that give you 15. And last but not least, pardon me, a little bit of a misclick there. Their villagers, their settlements can be harder to raid because vills do benefit from infantry blacksmith upgrades, both offensive and defensive. And by the way, take a look at the top left of your screen. The Incas get all infantry blacksmith upgrades. So we'll see if that's something in this game, and we'll see those villagers roided up later on in the game. Now, those villagers are going to be protected today against the Gurjaras, a civilization that focuses on man's other 4-legged best friends, horses, camels, and elephants. Their camels and elephants are created faster. All of their mounted units deal progressively more bonus damage as the game goes on, 20, 30, and then 40% more bonus damage in Imperial. Their camel line units and their elephant archers can be upgraded to make them much harder to kill with a +4 melee armor boost. And their first unique unit, the Shravamsha Rider, is a super fast cavalry unit that can actually dodge enemy projectiles. Now, to support their mounted units against pesky, annoying things that might want to snipe them, like, I don't know, maybe pikemen or halberdiers even, they can rely, the Gurjaras, on a second unique unit, the Chakram Thrower. This is an infantry unit with a ranged melee attack who throws discs, much like Xena Warrior Princess. Every time I make that reference, I wonder if people actually understand it, if anyone else is my age and lived through the 90s with Kevin Sorbo playing as Hercules and Lucy Lawless playing as Xena. In any event, Google it if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Her discs, like the discs of the Chakram, do actually injure multiple units at once. And although the damage output is pretty low, I think the basic Chakram attacks on a 3 and then the elite on a 4, the pass-through damage is 100%. And on top of that, comes with an attack bonus against infantry. Now, to help the Gurjaras build up their militaries, they do start the game not with a free llama underneath the town center, but with 2 free berry bushes. They can actually garrison their livestock inside the mill, and when they do so, when those 8 piggly wigglies are in sight, take a look at the food count: 87, 88, 133, 134, just goes up a unit, up a unit, up a unit. And last but not least, they can upgrade their entire military industrial complex so that every single Gurjara military unit costs 25% less food. So at the end of the day, we've got a couple of very fun civilizations. Like I said, counter on counter on counter is always like a game of 40 chess. And the more I look at these civilizations, the more fascinatingly interesting and similar they become. I mean, they both start with extra food underneath their TC. One has berry bushes, one has a llama. They can both upgrade their, or rather, they both have the potential for a 25% food discount on their military. The Gurjaras, unfortunately, do have to pay for Kshatriyas, which means, number one, getting up a castle and then paying that 950 resources, whereas the Incas, they have to just get up to Imperial, and then all of their units are 25% less food. Not that the Incas, their units are very food intensive. They don't exactly have cavalry where you need to feed the horse and the rider. And so we'll see whether or not Kshatriyas, generally as the Gurjaras, you want to get that upgrade, because if you're going to go cavalry of any kind, camels, elephants, Shravamshas, doesn't really matter. One Piggly Wiggly gets sent to his slaughter here as these two. This always reminds me of the scene. Has anyone else seen the movie Dodgeball? I mean, obviously people have seen the movie Dodgeball. There's a scene when they try to raise money to save Average Joe's gym. And there's a car wash that they hold. And there's one guy who comes to the car wash and he watches, what's the actor's name? Justin Long, as he bends over the tire. That's what these villagers always remind me of. I know it's a bit of a weird analogy and a weird kind of connection to make, but it is what it is. That's the way the old brain works. In any event, cavalry countered by Kameyuks, infantry countered by slingers, archers countered by skirmishers. On the other hand, we're not going to counter cavalry unless, of course, the Incas convert. They do have redemption, so they can actually convert. So let's go through the thought experiment anyway. Let's say somehow the Incas, Mr. Yo, who, you know, gathers relics, and to gather relics you need monks, does manage to convert a stable, because as we see, there's already a stable with a couple of horses' asses sticking out of it. Well, then the Gurjaras can rely on their 40% bonus dealing camels. If our Inca goes infantry, well, they can rely on their chakrams, and if our Inca goes ranged archer units, well, they can rely on their Shravamshas. So, like I said, anytime you have two counter civilizations, which doesn't frequently happen, it's really like a game of 4D chess. I mean, I get that expression. Why was there a scaffolding here for a second until it disappeared? That expression gets thrown around a lot in politics. Well, at least in North America. But like I said, when you have two counter civilizations, what will counter what will counter what will counter what? In the meantime, it looks like Liereyy is posturing to the rear of Mr. Yo's base. Good time for us. Let's remove the fog of war and see what the hell we're working with today. A lot of hills, a lot of forests in between these two bases. 3 scouts already out, but a spearman. Ooh, the health of the spearman, not exactly hale. And so he's going to have to be careful. Those skirmishers are returning home. Let's take a look at this base for our Inca, because I see some nice resources to the back. Stone and extra gold. Primary gold also nice and off to the side. Unfortunately for Mr. Yo, 3rd gold and 2nd stone very much exposed to the forward position. Forests in a bit of a nuclear hazard sign. Triangle, not really very helpful in terms of wall off. But he does have an extra forest to the back and a little bit of a lake. And we've seen pro players use those lakes in the rear to maybe build a dock or two. I say a dock or two, obviously just one dock is all that's going to fit in there. And now Mr. Yo obliges my game review by heading over to Lierey's base, which gives us an opportunity to look at this side gold as well. Also, primary stone to the back, but the extra resources, the 2 extra patches of gold and the stone very much in the forward position. Although, forward off to the side. We'll see, has Mr. Yo seen it? He has seen it. And he is getting trapped in here. So we're definitely going to see some kills in the next couple of seconds. The question is, who will draw first blood here? It is Mr. Yo, but he dies immediately afterwards as well. And I think he's overstayed his welcome. 2 palisade gates here are going to stop these skirmishers from leaving. And then the scouts are going to stop the skirmishers from breathing, as they hound them, chase them, and ultimately, ooh, Mr. Yo tried to get some damage on. How close was he? He was so close to getting this one skirmisher that barely has any HP. Oh, one more javelin. But unfortunately, kill count now stands at a massive 11-2. By the way, Lierey's forced, at least he's got one in the forward position. Spearman does give his life to kill a scout. Army counts are fairly similar. Villager counts are identical. Both players have a good number of skirmishers. One player has maxed out the spearman count. One player has maxed out the scout count. And also, by the way, Liereyy has a lake to the rear. I feel like a bit of a bigger lake than Mr. Yo's, although not much bigger. And also another forest for him to jack, as this eagle now Takes a few pokes. Will he force the garrisoning? Will he? So far, no. So, Mr. Yo getting some extra vision here. Skirmishers don't want to pick a fight, I guess. Missed opportunity to fire a shot or two off. Still 7 skirmishers for Liereyy. Camel Scout with 1 HP. My goodness, go find relics, go find resources. Your fighting days are over until maybe a monk can come out. Looks like a scout did die here to the rear of the Incan base as well. Kill count? Okay, Mr. Yo slowly climbing back up. I mean, we're in those early mid-feudal skill check times where skirmishers are, I guess, surrounded by Secret Service spearmen in a box formation. So kill count relevant, but not really determinative of much for now. More and more villagers getting pumped out for both players. Lierey's TC idle time shows us that he is down 1 or 2 villagers. And again, Mr. Yo overstays his welcome and gets, perhaps rear-ended. Okay, skirmishers need to go after these spearmen so that the scouts can close on the other skirmishers. He does. And yet again, Mr. Yo finds himself retreating. And by the way, nothing here on the minimap. No reinforcements, no relief forces. Absolutely nothing. Where, oh, where is that camel scout? Once this, okay. So, Liereyy settles for, okay, I was going to say 1 kill. Does get a second. Where's the camel scout? Okay, he's down here. Continuing to explore. One of the only 2 unique units in the game that you can train in the Feudal Age. Let me know if you know what the other one is. Or at least, you know, answer it in your head. Because we are nothing if not an educational channel here at Cast of Empires, where rough sexual innuendo, swearing, and movie references aside, this is still all about Age of Empires. And in Age of Empires, villagers abusing the minimum range of the skirmishers do manage to kill one of them. The answer is, of course, the sergeant for the Sicilians. Another barracks here for our Inca, who is going up to 3 barracks. 3 eagles being trained. So this is the interesting part. He's going to go eagles. Liereyy has no villagers on stone. He is nowhere close to going up to castle. So chakram throwers. You don't really get to see a lot of chakram throwers, do you, in Age of Empires? It's like one of those units you very rarely see. Even when your opponent goes infantry, the Gurjaras just have such faster options to dominate the map, to control the pace of the game. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo hits Castle Age. Liereyy finally hits it as well. I guess I shouldn't have said he's nowhere close. He's not as close as Mr. Yo, I should have probably said. And now Liereyy returns home. I'm not too sure you really need these skirmishers right now. They're basically dead anyway. 2 extra town centers going up. 1 to the rear, 1 to the center next to the gold. Eagles continue their chase of the skirmishers, but Shrevamshas are out. Both players have no stone. Mr. Yo's taking his scouts up to warriors. Shrevamsha's not a cheap unit. If you're going to go Shrevamshas, you need to start getting stone. They cost 70 food. And that is why you need that 25% discount. Okay, Eagles do get caught out here. Now, Shrevamsha's not exactly the strongest unit, but a decent amount of HP, at least against Eagles, 75 to 55. Not against any other kind of heavy cavalry, obviously. And the last of the forward skirmishers passes. Somehow those 2 town centers are still not complete. Oh, he's only got a few villagers building it. So Liereyy in no rush to get his economy up and running. Continuing to pump out Shrevamshas. He's going up to 10. They're on the other side. Mr. Yo might want to start securing his base. He jacked his trees. He jacked his wood. There's that sexual innuendo. Way too much. And this is something that happens very frequently in Age of Empires. By the way, Liereyy so far has managed to kill 6 villagers, which explains why Mr. Yo is down 8. Well, kind of explains why Mr. Yo is down 8. At the same time, Eagles, looks like they do manage to get 1 Shrevamsha in exchange for 1 Eagle. Not a bad trade. Now, funny enough, this unit costs a lot more gold than this unit, which costs food. a lot more food than this unit. I mean, that makes sense. You got the horse, you got the rider. Is the camel scout still alive? Okay. I mean, Liereyy must have seen. Yeah, look at the map vision for our Gurjara. He's seen literally every nook and cranny. Shravamsha's threatening the front as a few of them close in on the rear here. Upgrades wise, just forging, just +1 armor. Another dead villager. Gonna be another dead villager. Gonna be another dead villager. There's a scuffle in the middle of the map there. It looks like. Will the Eagles take it? Will he get a conversion? So yet again, 1 Shravamsha, 1 Eagle. These units seem to be very evenly matched so far, and Mr. finally gets his first villager kill of the game. But he's engaging underneath the town center against a mounted unit, which, to be fair, he does come with an attack bonus against cavalry +3. At the same time, Shravamshas are back in Mr. Yo's base yet again. Lierey's up to 12 villager kills. Eagle gets converted. Okay, so Mr. Yo wanted to convert a Shravamsha. Instead, he himself loses an Eagle. But they're on the high ground. They have a bonus. They attack fairly fast, which is to say just the usual 2 of infantry. And now they're going to force the farmers to run away. Another dead villager, more dead Eagles. Both players just tearing into one another, making it very hard to follow all the action. But for now, it looks like the Shravamshas in the rear of Mr. Yo's base have either died or have absconded. Maybe one of them is gone. Ooh, did he see the monk? Did he not see the monk? I mean, first of all, he's got 7 HP, 4 kills though. Oh, this guy, 4 villager kills. Yikes. Shravamsha does see the monk, springs into action, and bye monk. So far, our Inca, Mr. Yo, has collected 1 relic to 0. Both players still no villagers on stone. So for all my talk of chakrams and all my hope for Kamayuks, ain't gonna happen anytime soon. Eagles also come with a pretty decent attack bonus against monks, FYI. I want to say 6 or 8 if I'm not mistaken. Monk +8. Which is why that monk basically died immediately, melted like butter. And now a converted Shravamsha defending the monk, who possibly converted him with 1 total conversion here. Mr. Yo is being unrelenting. That being said, Liereyy again is using the mobility of the Shravamsha. Perfect. Look at that movement speed. I think probably the 2nd or 3rd fastest unit in the game. I want to say Cuman Scout and Imperial. And I want to say some kind of trade cart with a caravanserai. Possibly faster. But definitely either number 2 or number 3 is the Shravamsha rider. Unless I'm mistaken, unless it is the fastest unit in the game. But man, can you control the pace of the game? Can you dictate the location of battles? Hey villagers, get some buckets, put out the fire, form a chain gang. Okay, instead they build a house. All right. And for what, the 3rd or 4th time, as Mr. Yo attacks into him, Liereyy attacks into Mr. Yo, gets 1 monk. Will he get a second before a conversion? He does not, or he does, but that first monk did get a conversion on a Shravamsha here. Eagles luring the army into the defender's advantage. Training, Eagle training, Eagle training, Eagle. 3 more are about to pop out, but the Shravamshas have taken this handily, so popping them out 1 at a time. Maybe not the best of the moves here. Best of moves here for Mr. Yo, whose economy is going to suffer. Let's take a look at on the other side of the map. Eagles running amok, killing villagers, killing monks, killing more villagers. They peel off to the north, they peel off to the south. This is just an absolute bonkers game so far, and this is exactly what I wanted to see. How close are the players to possibly thinking about Imperial? Not close at all. Lierey's got no gold, Mr. Yo's got very little of everything. Look at this monk, the world's most secure monk. Did he get a conversion? No, he didn't get a single conversion. Hello, keep working. It looks like those Shravamshas are still there to the rear of Mr. Yo's base. And the Eagles are just slowly 1 by 1. Now it's Lierey's turn to pump out units 1 at a time. My goodness, the players just absolutely stabbing each other. And look at the villager kill count all of a sudden. Mr. Yo, 34 to 17. Mamma mia, that was literally, what was it, 6 or 7 to 0? Now it's 34-17 total kill count, though. Pretty darn identical. It looks like Lierey's focusing primarily on military kills while Mysterio tries to gut the economy of our Gurjara. Both players at very low villager counts, FYI. Mysterio at 48, Liereyy at 53. Might be one of the lowest villager counts I've seen at the 34-minute mark of a game at this high elo, and that just is a testament to how much the players are focusing on their military. Converted Shrivamsha runs in, dodges, base model dodges 5 arrows, elite dodges 7. But converted or not, it dies nonetheless. And now Mysterio trying to penetrate through the east, trying to penetrate through the south, brings even more eagles. My goodness, he is just being so annoying, keeping the pressure on. I thought these were villagers moving forward very slowly until I looked at the top and saw both players still have no stone. At least Liereyy has no stone because he just spent it all on a castle. Mysterio just doesn't have stone, period. And he's still on the back of one freaking town center. Infrastructure is getting destroyed here. Eagles are chasing Shrivamshas as fast as they are. 1.26. They are not fast enough to catch these very light horsemen. Now it's 2 monks safe inside here, but the Eagles are going to bust their way in. And with that attack bonus by Book and Crook and Sandals. And yet again, the Eagles are running amok, adding 7 more villager kills. Now remember, these are Incan Eagles, so they can potentially, with fabric shields, have up to 10 pierce armor. Did I see a disc? We are going to see chakram throwers. At the same time, Shrivamsha's here to the rear. 8 kills, no villagers yet. Let's see how much damage they can do here as the quarry gets walled off. Okay, nice and secure. And look at that. Oh, Mysterio just a millisecond too slow, but not this time. This time the Shrivamshas do get hurted and trapped. This guy's carrying a giant nugget of gold, doesn't know what the hell to do. And the Eagles swarm as Eagles do, and down go the offensive Shrivamshas for our Gurjara. But that's okay. He seems to be transitioning into chakram throwers. So damage output again is a meager 3, but they do pass through damage and it's 100%. So they can decimate. Don't be fooled by that 3 attack. They can mow down eagles like blades of Incan grass. And Mysterio knows that. Now he's upgrading his farms, getting a heavy plow upgrade. No upgrades whatsoever in the works yet for our Gurjara. Now chakrams again, still a fairly food intensive unit for an infantry. I mean, infantry generally is in the 60s, whether it's a 60-20 or 65 whatever. This is a 65 and it costs 30 gold. Watch the eagles melt. This is such a bad move from Mysterio. Such a bad move. Oh my goodness. There it goes again. Don't be fooled by the 3 base attack. That 100% pass through damage is just absolutely ridiculous. And if Mysterio sticks around, we are going to get to see yet another display of the chakrams. He's lined them up. Look at their HP just absolutely melting. He deletes his own house. Liereyy is bloodthirsty. Oh my goodness, Mysterio, not like this. Not like this, not like this. I mean, I had a short recently with scorpions just demolishing cavalry units, but this is like a humanoid scorpion demolishing infantry, FYI. Mysterio, attacked by a bear here, does put up a 2nd town center. A 3rd is in the works as well. Both players, I guess, tired of having very small economies. Again, between the 2 of them, 70 villagers each is not that great. Not at the 41-minute mark. Did I see slingers? I did see slingers. This is the... I mean, when I said you rarely see chakrams, you rarely see slingers. And I don't know why. This is basically the hand cannoneer for the Incas. Look at this attack bonus against infantry. Plus 10. Isn't that bonkers? To have a unit in the Castle Age. I mean, the Bohemians obviously can get their hand cannoneers in Castle Age. But all, the rest of us, the other 44, don't exactly get hand cannoneers with their plus 10 attack bonus against infantry in the Castle Age. But the Incas, they do. And the Slinger, unlike the Shrivamsha Rider, Ooh, not exactly an expensive unit, only 40 food. Does cost 40 gold though, so a little bit more gold. Did I say Shravamsha? I meant Chakram. A little bit less food, a little bit more gold. 80 total resources on the whole, compared to 95. Eagles need to get the hell out of here. You cannot keep engaging into Chakrams. They do also come, I believe, with an attack bonus +3 against buildings now. More clumps of Shravamshas. Here we go. Now, this might be a good fight for Mr. Yo. His slingers do shoo the army away. Relics are 4-0. And Mr. Yo, ooh, just on the very tip. How sour is that? It's literally right here. I love when stuff like this happens. Now, slingers do absolutely nothing against cavalry units like Shravamshas. Tell me you've gotten Kshatriyas. He does have Kshatriyas. So now all units cost 25% less food for our Gurjara, which, to be fair, the Incas? I mean, I don't know which one is better. The Gurjaras, they can have 25% cheaper food cost in Castle Age, whereas the Incas are 20%. But is the extra 5% really worth all of these resources? What was it? 950 total resources? Monsieur's finally getting his castle up, but it's gonna be a tough fight here. He's gonna have to really try to get that castle up. There are 9 villagers in there. Now would be a good time to ungarrison and send them north to complete that castle, but more and more green dots are streaming across the map. And look at that, just mere minutes after I said they both have 70 villagers, they're both starting to approach 100. Chakram's walking around. Monsieur does ungarrison the villagers. Okay, it's at 89. He should be able to get this up. He's got 8 villagers. Liereyy is targeting the vills, but not exactly in a way that can stop the castle. It is going up. Kamayuks. I mean, Kamayuks would just be the icing on the cake, the cherry on the sundae right now. Then we'll see all 5, pardon me. I don't know, I was about to say 6. All 5 unique units in this game. Castle fire, not exactly a big deterrent against the unit that fires arrows against. Oh, that can avoid arrows, and there it is. So we've seen camel scouts, or a camel scout. We've seen Shravamsha riders, and we've seen Chakram throwers. On the other hand, we've seen, where are you? At least one left, one slinger, and a pair of Kamayuks. When you're playing poker against the Incas, a pair of Kamayuks does beat one slinger. Okay, attacking the rear, not a lot happening there. Another castle in the forward position. Beautiful location, by the way. Getting that secondary gold and the secondary stone. It looks like he is leaving the tertiary gold unmined for the moment. Wow, not every day a town center manages to get a Shravamsha, and both players are heading up to Imperial. Monsieur will hit it first. His infrastructure to the rear continues to get demolished, but whatever, these are 100 wood structures, not exactly the end of the world, but he does have to come up with an answer to this eventually. And again, I don't think 2 Kamayuks are going to do it. 48 seconds away from Elite Eagle Warriors. That's his answer against the Chakrams. Now, there are only 8. They are badly injured. More Shravamshas are streaming in, but still 2 minutes away from Imperial. Kamayuks doing what Kamayuks do, which is shafting horses. Now, here's the fun thing that at least Mr. Yo has going for him. This is a ranged melee unit. And in Age of Empires, just like with Mamelukes and throwing axemen and Gebetos, there is no ballistics for ranged melee attacks, which means if you maneuver well enough, you can actually dodge those discs. A 5th relic returning home. Mr. Yo, just an absolute relic beast. As he chases these guys away. Fully, no, not fully upgraded. Still missing armor, still missing attack, still missing fabric shields. Okay, you chased. Why did you stop chasing? The Eagles did close on the track. Pardon me, Chakrams. Kamayuks have killed 3. And here we go. They run the gauntlet to get ass paddled, and one of them dies. And yet again, the Eagles are inside the base, but this time more and more Chakrams. Yikes. And this is what I'm talking about. Oh my god. I mean, that eagle took it from 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. That was freaking brutal. Ouch. The Gurjaras, unfortunately for Mysterio, do get the cheapest Hussars in the game with their 25% discount. Better than the Magyars, better than the Berbers. That being said, our Gurjara with no relics and just spending his gold now on the Elite Chakram Thrower upgrade is gold starved, but maybe not for long with this many vills on gold. I guess the good part of having very small economies throughout the game is that at the 51-minute mark, I can't believe the game has been going on for 51 minutes. At the 51-minute mark of the game, you still have your primary resources left for mining. Whereas if both players had gone up to, you know, 107, 127 villagers at the usual times, you know, about 10 minutes ago, these resource patches probably would have been mined out. But because they had such tiny little economies, now they still have access to so... How many resources are left? There's still 10,000 gold left on the map. Still 4,400 stone. I mean, we're potentially going to see some massive, massive battles. Unless the Eagles insert themselves into a freaking corner against Chakram Throwers. Elite, by the way, so now they do 4 damage. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like that meme, that oh my god meme. Oh my god. Oh my god. That guy, I forgot the name of the actor that does the voice for Archer from the cartoon. Oh my god. Oh my god. And Mysterio, what the actual hell were you doing with these villagers? Were you trying to sneakily castle drop while signaling to your opponent that this is where you were going to do it? Okay, he's going to try to save the villagers with the Eagles, and if he can save the villagers, will he try to castle drop? No, he just spent his stone on a very defensive castle in the rear of his base, and now we've got Hussars. Pikemen chemistry, Archer armor. Why is he getting Archer armor? He's continuing to go Slingers. Mysterio still has 1,000 gold, which means he can keep pumping out a good number of Eagles and Slingers. But now you're facing off against trash. This is where, unfortunately for the Meso civilizations, there is a big potential problem here. Although Halberdiers at a 25% cheaper food cost, I mean, not that that 35 food is a lot, but 25% is a pretty darn big discount. They can pump out a lot of Halberdiers. And just like that, the Hussars die, but oh my goodness. Oh, the Eagles. The problem is if you train infantry to deal with the Hussars, the Chakrams come in, but now the Chakrams are facing a lot of Slingers. But that's okay. The Hussars body block and all the Slingers die. Wow. And Mysterio must be frustrated AF. I mean, this is exactly what I meant by counter versus counter being so crazy, because Mysterio sees Hussar, spends a shiitake mushroom ton of gold getting up to the Halberdier upgrade, only to have his Halberdiers killed by Chakrams. He then trains Slingers to get rid of the Chakrams, but the Slingers, undefended by Halberdiers, all die to the Hussars. I mean, it's like a game of Jenga, and unfortunately Mysterio pulls the last little block and the entire tower falls, and Liereyy gets to yell Jenga. He's out of gold here as well. By the way, does Mysterio have any gold that he can mine? No, he's out of here. He's out of... Oh, he does have this. Pardon me, this was the stone. He's out of the gold, except for 137. He's getting raided over here with another about 800 gold. So about, let's say, 1,000 gold optimistically still left. But look at this. Liereyy. Full patch. Full patch. Half patch. This is, like I said, one of those things where because the economies were so small, at the 55... By the way, the game ending at 55 is pretty... if you believe in numerology and astrology and I don't know what else. Whatever we say on dates to impress people. I'm like such a Virgo. Anyway, 55 ending is pretty cool. But ultimately, yeah, Mysterio now is just parade pushing individual units into a meat grinder. How many kills did these 19 Chakram? 42 kills. So they're basically, like I said, human scorpions when it comes to killing infantry. What Scorpions are to cavalry, these are to infantry. And what an absolute banger of a game. I mean, there was so much action going on, literally from, I want to say, like minute 20. Both players were just attacking into one another, making it very hard to follow all the action. But at the end of the day, 58 Vil kills to 55. So the Vil kills very similar, where it grows and grows and grows is the military kills. About 80 difference in military. Not hard to see why. Look at all the red dead bodies here. The Chakram's putting in the work. And Liereyy with the counter to the counter to the counter to the counter does take it with those Chakrams. I mean, they've got to be the MVPs of the game, right? The Shravamshas set the pace. They raided early on until the Hussars could come out. But even just 49 Shravamshas, I did it again, 49 Chakrams is enough. I mean, 170 Eagles. I didn't expect it to be 170. I thought for sure it would be under 100 high, but under 100. 170 Eagles. All dead. Wow, 42 slingers. So, like I said, we got the elite unit, elite unit, elite unit, those two Kamayuks, and the Gurjara Camel Scout. You can't get better than that in Age of Empires. 55 minutes, a total of 500 kills. You got to see all the unique units of the civilizations. How epic was this game? 40 minutes in PKPM for Mr. Yo. Right at the beginning for Liereyy. Surprising for the Gurjara, who starts the game with 2 bushes, that his PKPM of 231 actions per minute is at the 11-second mark of the game. Oh man, these things always make me laugh. Economically, yeah, look how small the economies are. Mr. Yo, boss with the relics, all 5. Obviously, double the gold. Holy moly. Stone count identical. 10,000 almost more food for our Gurjara. 4,000 more wood. So in all metrics but gold, he is ahead. And even if you remove the relic gold, Mr. Yo just mined his out earlier, and so we saw not a big surprise, because again, secondary gold up and running, tertiary gold up and running, all the contested golds rather, near that base are up and running. What were you? You were gold miners. Okay, so there was a patch of gold here contested that Mr. Yo did manage to get. And how many conversions do we think? Only 4 to 2. Only 8 raisings to 4. So really, this was a human on human game, not really a siege demolition game, not really a monk game, despite this adorable little nook that Liereyy created for himself. And like I said, the one thing that pro players are more allergic to than getting murder holes in Castle Age, or getting murder holes, period, is spending stone on walls when they don't have to. And so if this was a stone wall, the Eagles would not have penetrated, and those 2 monks in here could have had their way and gotten more and more conversions. But ultimately, did it really matter? The MVP showed up, and even though it was the 3rd most trained unit, it was the foremost number 1 in our hearts, because we just got to see Eagles getting mowed down one after the other. And Mr. Yo with Eagles is a pretty dangerous Mr. Yo, but ultimately Liereyy proves himself to be even more dangerous with the Chakram, with the Shravamsha, and sure, even with that 1 HP Camel Scout, it is Liereyy who takes the W. But GG in a chaotic but fun game to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.